Crystal PvP looked like this in 2020. Now just a couple of years later, it already looks like this. There's been an absolutely monumental change in Crystal PvP, and that's why some people are now asking, is Crystal PvP dying? Well, to answer the age-old question, let's just see in this video how I explain Crystal PvP is not dying, but thriving. Recently, a lot of people have been making videos about the mace being a competitor. Well, this weapon in Minecraft is honestly super OP. I mean, I watched a few videos of it a while back, and I think that the mace is a pretty big competitor. But let's see why Crystal PvP is still better than this. Well, this is about the top speed of a mace combo as I'm seeing right now. This is one of the most OP mace combos with the elytra fireworks. However, this can be easily countered by popcorning to get you instant killed as you come from the high ground. That's why it won't prove too effective in the future for a while now. Since you go from such a high ground in this strategy when you use the mace, this is what's most likely going to happen to you 9 out of 10 times. PvP is also still extremely practical for SMPs like the Donut SMP. A lot of SMPs prioritize Crystal PvP kits, making them easier to obtain. And an average duo Crystal PvP kits are one of the most OP kits and practical ones used for any fight regardless of player or situation. For example, in this clip, Dr. Donut is fighting multiple players in the Donut SMP, which is a great example of how Crystal PvP can easily lessen the odds even when you're fighting multiple players, unlike the mace which can only handle one opponent at a time with each hit. Honestly, another factor to crystals being super popular, apart from the fact that Crystal PvP is extremely powerful for Minecraft PvP, is the rise of the Donut SMP. You see, when SMPs come into Minecraft in PvP, they arise for a whole new layer of content that can be created, thus expanding the opportunities for creators and making more and more creators shift towards this game mode as they can produce PvP/SMP content. The prime example of this is Dr. Donut. He mixes PvP and SMP content to produce some absolutely viral videos that do really well from. A lot of other creators are doing this, however, just to name a few: Dr. Donut, NetNox, Tree Gaming, Jestig, itzglimpse, and other Crystal PvP YouTubers who are now linking their content with Donut SMP to create an entirely new and different niche for themselves. Honestly, things like the Donut SMP and other SMPs expand the way you can use Crystal PvP majorly. Now, a few reasons why Crystal PvP is probably Minecraft's most entertaining and fun game mode, and thus the biggest reason it's popular. Well, firstly, games are really fast, which keeps it adrenaline. Kills are always super satisfying in this game mode. There are basically any items you can add to this, from pistons to the mace to basically anything, expanding your Crystal PvP. There are hundreds of maps which you can play on with these, unlike other servers, which makes it really fun. It's the most OP kit in the whole game, which basically allows you to escape any trap on SMP, thus making it even more practical for when you play on an SMP. As not only can you beat any player with this kit, you can also beat any traps. And lastly, this is probably the most fun or interesting community. I know it's absolutely loaded with controversy, but since Crystal PvP has become so popular, the game mode and the community itself expanded, so there's like hundreds of tier lists, many servers, and it's the most game mode where you could have like the most enjoyable experience, as the number of servers for every region has greatly increased in the last couple of years, which makes it honestly even more fun as the experience is better. Lastly, the evolution. Crystal PvP is not a static game mode unlike some other game modes. It constantly evolves. Just take a look at Sword PvP in about 2017 by a YouTuber named Latvian, widely considered one of the best back then. If we take a look at modern day Sword PvP, we can say not much has changed. The kit is exactly identical. We still play on the same maps. Although playstyles have changed a lot, the fundamentals of the game haven't really changed that much. We still use the same items and roughly the same concepts as we did use several years ago, thus making it boring. However, Crystal PvP has gone from this hacking game taking place on 2b2t, and it has completely evolved beyond recognition. Crystal PvP, as you all know from my video on a history of Crystal PvP, originally started off by 2b2t thanks to the 9/11 dupe, which took place a couple of years ago in 2011. This dupe really helped, and thus, a few years later, we can see Crystal PvP looks like this now. We can see that it has become a game mode where people have been able to control crystals without hacks, and hence the game mode has evolved a lot. However, with the introduction of new items like the shield, respawn anchors, glowstone, this has changed once again, and with the addition of the mace, we are yet to see how Crystal PvP will evolve once again. I think personally this constant evolution of Crystal PvP keeps the game mode constantly interesting, and yeah, that's why it's so popular today. Anyway, I hope this video answers the age-old question by Rasplin about that Crystal PvP is not dying, in fact, it's thriving more than ever. Anyway, subscribe if you like the video, and thank you, bye.